The New York Giants, after a little over a decade, after this draft, have a solid foundation to build around. Think about that, Big Blue Crew. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly the reason why I say that. And I think going down the line is going to be great for our G-men. But the New York Giants have a solid foundation. So let's talk about it. BIGPATSportstalk reacts. Alright, what's going on YouTube? What's going on Instagram, Twitter, all platforms, Facebook? I'm here to tell you guys, New York Giants Nation, that the New York Giants, like I said in the beginning, after over a decade, have a solid foundation to build around. When you want to build a team, what's the main thing that you want to do on a team? You want to protect the quarterback, number one. And number two, you want to get after the quarterback. And with these four gentlemen here in this picture behind me, we could do both. With Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, we could protect our quarterback, whoever that is, whether it's Daniel Jones or whether it's another quarterback in the future. We will see after this year. And number two, with Azizo Delaria and the absolute beast, the alpha male, as Miz called him, shout out to the Miz. He wanted this guy the whole time, Mr. Thibodel. We could get after the quarterback, and we can protect the quarterback. That's the main thing that you need to do in order to be a successful franchise. Get after the quarterback and protect the quarterback. Let's talk about the offensive line. I believe after the draft, after drafting Evan Neal, and with Andrew Thomas already proven that he could be one of the best left tackles in the league, we could potentially have one of the best left tackles in the league and one of the best right tackles in the league. That's a foundation to build around. It's much easier to build the interior of the offensive line than having to get both tackle positions right. And what I mean by that, when you got both tackle positions right, that means your quarterback's blind sides are protected. That means he can feel safe. That means that he knows that the edge rushers are not going to get after him as soon as he calls height. Like Daniel Jones has been getting killed, especially from the right side the past couple of years with Nate Solder or Matt Purd or Cunningham over there. And then the left tackle position, as long as he stay healthy, he has protection on his blind side. Now, with the New York Giants, with Joe Shane and Dabo, they've done an excellent job this year of giving us an offensive line that can be formidable. We have to see it on the field, most definitely. But he's built this offensive line, folks. And that's the foundation that this team needs. If you have a good offensive line, a lot of things can go into place for you. A lot more routes get open. You can run the ball better when you have a good offensive line. The quarterback has a little bit more time to find open receivers. So if your receivers are not initially open, when they break their routes, it's hard for cornerbacks to cover receivers for 3 to 4 to 5 seconds. Now, we have to get the interior of the line fixed. But with Glowinski at right guard, I think we have a solid right guard. Let's see what our center and left guard does. I believe we got some draft picks that could go at the left guard position at rookies. Or we got Max Garcia. Shane Lemieux is back. But if that interior of that offensive line plays half decent, that gives the opportunity for, like I said, whoever the quarterback is to step up in the pocket and buy a little extra time and maneuver in the pocket. Maybe able to step up and move to the right because the blocking the interior is stonewalling the defensive tackles and the defensive ends, and the edge rushers are being stonewalled about the tackles. So that allows him to move up in the pocket and move left or right and scan the field a little bit better. Any quarterback that's given a good, decent amount of time can make some completions for you. We don't have to have Jesus in cleats at quarterback to have a successful offense. A quarterback could be average, as you call him, and we can be very good on offense. We have the weapons. Imagine Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kenny Galladay, and Sterling Shepard have enough time to get into routes and maybe break off a route if it's covered initially. And those plays where Daniel Jones were getting strips at because he's waiting for someone to break open actually turns into a completion. Imagine on third downs if you got a lot more time for your quarterback to step up in the pocket. Imagine that. Having bookend tackles means a whole lot to your offense. Just ask Tom Brady. Just ask Peyton Manning. Ask Drew Brees. Ask Big Ben. Big Ben has always been able to stand back there all day and every day, let Antonio Brown, Santonio Holmes, the receivers over there in Pittsburgh, ridiculous. I could do a whole video on those guys. But having a good offensive line is detrimental to your team. Having a good offensive line allows you to analyze what you have at the quarterback position, what you have at the running back position, which we haven't been able to do because we don't know what they can do because they're not getting blocking. Imagine Saquon Barkley being able to get the ball and not get hit in the backfield or have to juke out 3 people just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Imagine that. So these 2 pillars that we have at the offensive line at left tackle and right tackle is detrimental to this team. And shout out to Joe Shane for getting that in his first season. Yes, he did not draft Andrew Thomas. I understand that. But he got Evan Neal to pair with Andrew Thomas. And now we look like we'll have a decent offensive line going forward. I highly doubt that we'll be number 31 or 32 in the league again as far as offensive line ratings. Andrew Thomas has proven already that he can be one of the best left tackles in the league when healthy. When Andrew Thomas was on that field blocking for Daniel Jones, he was comfortable and he was making plays in the beginning of the season. As soon as he went down, the whole wheels fell off. Look at the Rams game. When he went down, the whole wheels fell off. If you got a good offensive line, you might be able to survive with some injuries at receiver because they're blocking and your receivers can get open. Maybe Daniel Jones' pocket awareness gets better when he feels that he has a pocket. Or if Tyrod Taylor has to come in, hey, he can maneuver in the pocket. He does that with the best of them. He can run around and make a play real quick. When you want to build a good team, man, you build this team in the trenches. And the most important trenches, I believe, is the offensive line. You got to protect your quarterback. Because without an offensive line, you can't pass or run. Hence, last season. When you don't have an offensive line, you can't get good plays ran in the red zone because you don't have time. You get sacks on 1st and 10 in the red zone, and you get knocked all the way back to the 22-yard line. You get false start penalties that knock you out of the red zone and make you have to get 15 yards with no running game, no threat of a running game. And now the passing game has to come through. They already know you have to pass, so they just pin their ears back and destroy your offensive tackles. And your guards can't hold up either because they're falling on their ass. The days of Billy Price, Hernandez, Sakura, Bredesen, those days are gone, man. We got some new sheriffs in town, and we got some big road graders. Shout out to Lou. Can't wait till you start making those road grader videos. Check out G Nation Inside Sports for your road grader videos and your Blitz Squad videos. But the days of Billy Price falling on his ass, or the days of Billy Price just getting absolutely mauled into the quarterback, I believe those days are gone, man. The days of Will Hernandez not being able to pick up a stunt, the days of Bredesen not knowing what the play is, having to scream out what's the play. The days of Nate Soder just being a traffic cone and letting people run around him. Hell, they didn't even have to run around. Most of the time they ran straight through him. The guy had no balance and no strength. Think how bad that is. A guy that's extremely strong, if he has no balance and if he can't get his hand placement right, he can get bull rushed by any edge rusher, because the game is about balance. Yes, power is an important part, but technique, I say technique is 75% of it, man. Yeah, you can stop a couple of guys with raw power, but if your technique is not good, shit, they're going to get right past you. Just being honest. But we have some guys that have good technique. Evan Neal has great technique. And when they work on his feet a little bit more, I think he's going to be an excellent right tackle. He can also play guard. He can also play left tackle. Andrew Thomas has already shown that he's gotten his technique down, and he's locked down at left tackle when he's healthy, but he has to be healthy. That is true. I know you're saying it, and that is true. I can't dispute that. I mean. He has to be healthy. A healthy Andrew Thomas and a healthy Evan Neal, I believe we have the two pillars and the two foundations to build around. It's so much easier to build your offensive line when you know you have two tackles on your team that are solid, that are just absolutely outstanding. They have a chance to be the best tackle duo in the league. Yes, I said it. They have the chance to be the best tackle duo in the league going into this year. Let Evan Neal get his feet underneath him. Let him learn the scheme, and let that natural talent take over. The big 6'7" monster, 345. Let that talent take over. I promise you, he's going to do well. Andrew Thomas, another big monster. He's going to do well. Glowinski, I believe they brought him here for a purpose. He was the only free agent that got a multi-year deal. He's very good at run blocking. He's very good at pass blocking. Now we need to get that center and left guard. We can get that center and left guard figured out. We got an offensive line here, folks, and that's what I mean about a foundation. It makes it so much easier to build the trenches when your tackles are good. Those two pillars right there are going to be extremely, 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 extremely important for the development of this offensive line. And guess what? They're young. Andrew Thomas is only going into his third year, and Evan Neal's a rookie. Do you know we can have bookend tackles for at least 5 to 6 years together? At least 5 to 6 years. Because you're going to pay Andrew Thomas. And Evan Neal, he has a 5-year contract, or he has a 5th-year option. I'm quite sure they're going to pick up that 5th-year option on Evan Neal. So for at least 5 years together, we're going to have one of the best tackle duos in the league. I promise you. And then what if the offensive line turns out to be good, not just decent? Let's say they go top 15. Imagine what Saquon Barkley can do behind an offensive line that blocks, and he's healthy. Imagine what he can do. Imagine the screen game. Imagine being able to let Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson take the top off the defense and let Kenny Galladay work the middle of the field, one-on-one. Because you have to run two safety high to stop Kadarius Toney from burning you down the field, or Wan'Dale Robinson from burning you down the field. Imagine Daniel Jones being able to sit in that pocket and throw a deep post or a deep post corner to those guys. Imagine Sterling Shepard being able to run routes in the middle of that field and route people up and move the chains for us. Hell, our tight ends are good blockers. Daniel Bellinger was one of the best blocking tight ends in the draft. Imagine being able to run a big formation where your tight end all the way down to your left tackle are good blockers. So running a heavy set with Saquon Barkley and let him find that hole, my goodness. We all know what Saquon Barkley does in the open field. Damn near impossible to bring down one-on-one. So if he's getting one-on-one matchups with safeties in the open field, hey, look, I see a lot of big plays happening. I see a lot of big plays happening. I see a lot of wide open receivers. Imagine being able to let your receivers run a full route tree and not having to run curls and slats and hitches because you know your offensive line can't hold up. Imagine your tight end being able to use his speed, Ricky Seals-Jones be able to use his speed and his height to beat out a safety for a first down. Imagine that. And I'm so excited about this new GM because in over a decade, this is the first time we have had 2 good tackles on the team. I know Evan Neal hasn't stepped on the field yet, but I promise you the dude's going to be good. He's not going to be no Nate Solder. We went from Nate Solder to arguably a tackle that could have been the first overall pick in the draft. That's how much of an upgrade we got at the right tackle position by drafting Evan Neal. And it's dope. It's dope, man. So those are the first 2 pillars, Mr. Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. Man, fixing this offensive line is going to be so good because if those guys don't turn out, we got the draft pick in the 3rd round. We got a draft pick in the 5th round. I believe they're going to fight for that left guard position and center position as well. But next offseason, we have abundance of $100 million. We can go get a center or a left guard if we have to. Mainly the center position, more than likely, I see them addressing. So if you could get a top-tier center to go with 2 top-tier tackles, oh, we made it. We made it. We have definitely made it on the offensive line. I say we will have a top-tier offensive line year 2. You can write it down. You can get your receipt. I say we have a top-tier offensive line in year 2. And you know I'm going to talk my talk no matter what you thought. But top-tier offensive line in year 2, especially with that free agent money coming in next year, if we have to sign a center. Most definitely. But those are the first 2 pillars. Evan Neal, Andrew Thomas, y'all go out there and ball out, man. Need y'all for this offensive line. Show us that this offensive line can be good. And we'll see the results. Might turn into a lot of wins. You never know. All right, let's get to the pillars on the defensive line. Azizo Delaria, we know about him, man. Coming off a year, 8.5 sacks to 9 sacks. I thought he had 10, but I guess they said he only got 8.5 to 9. Azizo Delaria, great rookie campaign. Learned a lot. Learned how to hold the edge on the run. He was doing that pretty well down the stretch of the season. And he came into the season and got absolutely ripped. Like, this dude looks like he is on a mission. He looks like he wants to be one of the top edge rushers in the league. He's he's fast. Very fast for the edge rusher position. He's put on weight. He's put on strength. He's put on muscle. And he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. Let's coach him up. Let's coach him up to get better. And if he can hold that run like he was doing last year, my goodness. What a pillar to build around. Next, we're going to get to Mr. Kayvon Thibodel, the leader. Arguably the best defensive player in the draft. Arguably the best player in the draft. We got him at number 5. Kayvon Thibodel is a piece that you can build around. Top edge rusher coming out of this draft, and it's not even close when it comes to edge rushing capability. And when I turn on the film on this guy, he's actually pretty good against the run. And he has extremely good length. Pause. He has extremely good length. He knows how to use that left hand to get inside that lineman's shoulder pad to give himself leverage and hold a big, strong individual, offensive tackle, hold him there, and then rip him off and get to the quarterback. And he does the same thing in the run game. So imagine that Delaria and Thibodel are capable of holding the edge in the run game. And then they're both capable of rushing the passer. We know Thibodel will rush the passer, but Delaria proved in his rookie year that he can rush the passer. What if we got two bookend ends already on this team? Two bookend tackles, two bookend ends. What if you have to respect the New York Giants pass rush once again? You want to know what two bookend edge rushes does for your defense? It allows Leo Williams maybe to go one-on-one. It allows Dexter Lawrence to go one-on-one. It allows a Jahad Ward maybe to go one-on-one. A Roche to maybe go one-on-one. It opens up gaps for the middle linebackers to shoot the gaps. Micah McFadden, they drafted him. Shoots the gap extremely well. And I believe he's going to be the starter opposite of Blake Martinez. And we know what Blake Martinez can do when he's healthy on the field. That's what he does. You open up a gap for Blake Martinez, he's going to get in that gap and he's going to make that tackle. What if Leo Williams came into camp ready to go? What if Leo Williams is playing still good enough to where he has to be double teamed? Now you got Thibodel and Delaria one-on-one. One of those guys is going to get back there. One of those guys is going to get back there. And so if they're getting back there, if they're creating that much pressure, guess what? The DB's job becomes easier. He doesn't have to guard people for 6 to 7 seconds now. He only has to guard people for 2.5, 3 seconds. What if the receivers are not allowed to run around like chickens with their head cut off, and the quarterback's able to run around until somebody gets open and throws the pass? What if that play has to work immediately? We play in a division with a lot of scrambling quarterbacks. What if Dak Prescott can't scramble around and make those 5 to 6 yard plays anymore? What if he has to sit in that pocket and make him throw? And he's lost Amari Cooper. What if you can run zone behind a defense that's getting pressure? My goodness, that quarterback is going to have to be pinpoint accurate and get the ball out immediately on time. Accurately, because if he makes one mistake, somebody's going to be there to pick it off. Think about this. What about the run game? What if you can't run outside stretches against us anymore because we have two edge rushers that can hold the edge? And now we got a linebacker in Michael McFadden who has sideline capabilities that can get out there to the outside and make the tackle. Blake Martinez has a knack for being around the ball. Beavers, old school linebacker. You're not running up the middle against him, and he has edge rush capabilities as well. Not to mention, we still got Ellis and Smith to talk about. What if you can't run it up the middle or the outside on a consistent basis? What if it's hard to do both? What if they run it up the middle and they're not getting 6 to 7 yards on first down, they're getting a yard or maybe lose yardage? Dexter Lawrence, step up. Because if you play like a monster and we got those two monsters on the edge and Leo Williams is playing like a monster, I don't see anybody running up the middle against us. And if you're in constantly 2nd and 10, and then we get pressure on your quarterback on that 2nd and 10, and then 3rd and 10, we know you have to pass. With those two bookend edge rushers, with Leo Williams playing the inside that you have to double team, because if you leave him one-on-one, he's going to get pressure up the middle. And guess what? We got two edge rushers that can hawk the quarterback down from the outside. So if they do try to break it to the outside, guess what? Ojulari is right there. Hello, sir. Kayvon Thibodeau's right there. How you doing, sir? Get his ass. That's what I mean by get his ass. Imagine being able to get pressure with just your base defense. Imagine being able to run the ball and stop the run. That's major. That's what gets victories. If you can stop the run and run the ball, that means you're able to waste clock and get the other team off the field. That's a winning formula, folks. Imagine your DBs not having to cover for 10 damn seconds. Imagine being able to press. And if you win that press, guess what? If that edge rush is getting in there within 2.5 seconds, it's going to be hard as hell to move the ball against us. You're going to have to be extraordinary to move that ball against us. You're going to have to make some plays out of this world. That's momentum. That's the field position game. Imagine the field position game, which was good last year. Imagine this offense getting the ball on the 50-yard line, the 45-yard line consistently. Imagine having a defense that's not giving up points before halftime every game. Because you got two pillars on defense. You got two edge rushers. If you get pressure with just your base formation, oh my goodness. If you get pressure with just 4 guys and you can put 7 men in coverage, that's hard to beat. It's very hard to beat. Our offense proved it last year. You were able to get pressure on us with just your base form, and man, was it hard for us to get yardage. Imagine we'd be able to flip that. Imagine we'd be able to flip field position and let that offense get back on the field. Imagine letting our offense on the field consistently and we're able to run the ball. Imagine how tired that defense will get. Then you're going to start seeing those passes, those hitch routes turn into 14, 15 yards because the defense is tired. Imagine that. Imagine having pillars on this team in Joe Shane's first year as GM. Imagine that. Look at those 4 guys on the screen, man. That's your foundation, folks. That's your foundation. These guys allow you to bring in players to get the best out of players. That allows you to get the best out of Kadarius Toney. That allows you to get the best out of Wan'Dale Robinson. It allows you to get the best out of Saquon Barkley. Maybe Saquon Barkley turns back into the best running back in the league because he has people to block for him. Imagine being able to get the best out of Daniel Jones. I know a lot of people don't believe that he can do it, but let's just see. Imagine if we could get the best out of Daniel Jones and he turns into a good quarterback. Imagine your receivers being able to get into their routes. And having receivers that can settle down into a zone that get open and the quarterback can hit them because he has time. He doesn't have pressure in his face. Imagine your quarterback not having to throw it off his back foot every doggone time. Imagine being able to have athletic guards to pull and be able to run a stretch play without getting killed. Because your right tackle can move the defensive edge rusher down the line and allow those guys to pull to block those linebackers and get Saquon Barkley an open field to where he can run 7 to 8 yards without being touched. And it's him one-on-one with your safety. Guess who wins? I'm taking Barkley all day, every day. twice on a Sunday. Imagine the screen game working a lot better because people are worried about your rush. Imagine the play action. Imagine linebackers having to respect our run game and they step up, and now you getting destroyed over the middle of the field with Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson. Imagine our quarterback being allowed to throw a back shoulder throw. Because of those two pillars that's on that screen behind me. Imagine that. Imagine a team going out on the field with confidence, knowing that they can score points. Hell, imagine being on the 1 yard line and getting pushed from your offensive line to be able to score easily without having to lose Daniel Jones to a concussion. Imagine that. Imagine being able to get 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s. Imagine Daniel Jones in the RPO when we do run it, being able to run more freely. Imagine a trick gadget play working because people don't know where we're coming from. That's what a foundation does for you on the offensive line. Imagine on defense that you can stop people from getting 3rd and 3s because you can stop people from bullying you up the middle. Imagine people having to get the ball out on 3rd and 13 very quickly and only getting 6 yards because they have to throw it so fast because Thibodel and Delaria are coming after your ass. Get his ass. Imagine your quarterback being chased by Ojulari and Thibodel because Leo Williams and Dexter Lawrence are one-on-one and they're getting pressure up the middle because you have to worry about the edges. Imagine your linebackers be able to come downhill and make tackles consistently because there are huge gaps because they have to worry about the edges. Imagine New York Giants defensive line being feared again. Because we have a foundation. We have something to build around. Imagine quarterbacks being confused again. Remember, when we had the great pass rush, we confused the greatest of all time. Twice. In the biggest game. We're getting back to those days, people. And I'm proud to say that this man, Joe Shane, has got us a foundation. These 4 guys right here are guys that you can build around. And that's all we've been asking. Over the past decade, we haven't had people that you can build around. You can build around these 4 guys. And it allows talent like a Xavier McKinney to realize his full potential. It allows his full potential. It allows talent like a Kadarius Toney to reach his full potential. It allows a guy like a Daniel Jones, if he gets everything correct, to reach his full potential. It allows you to see the full potential of Saquon Barkley again. It allows Leo Williams to be dominant. It allows you to see if Dexter Lawrence full potential, that he could be a dominant defensive tackle. It allows Blake Martinez to go out there and do what he does. It allows us to see if Beavers and Micah McFadden can reach their full potential. It allows cornerbacks like a Dory Jackson to have an easier job in the secondary. It allows people like a Julian Love to reach his full potential. It allows Aaron Robertson to go out there and be able to do what he does. Because if you only have to guard for a certain amount of time, it's way easier than guarding somebody in a deep zone and the quarterback has 7 seconds to wait for his receivers to get open in your zone. It's a whole lot harder if you got people getting after your ass. Get his ass. Pause. But that's the motto for the Blitz Squad to me. Get his ass. Because if I could rush you with my base package and allow 7 defenders on that field to defend the pass consistently, we're winning. You won. As long as your DBs aren't just absolute morons and allow people to get past them in a couple of tenths of a second, you're going to win some ball games. So that's why I came to the conclusion that the New York Giants have found a foundation in the trenches on both sides of the ball. And that is a great start to getting back to winning football. Believe me, it all starts in the trenches. It starts out protecting the quarterback and getting after the quarterback. That's what good teams do. They protect their quarterback and they get after the quarterback. They run the ball. They stop the run. It happens in the trenches, folks. The big uglies, the fat boys, whatever you want to call them, road graders, blitz squad, whatever you want to call them, that's where it starts. Because it allows so many other people to reach their potential. It allows you to do so many different things, potentially on offense and defense. It allows you to get creative. And that's what we need. And that's what we got. And that's why this team is going to start winning. May not be this year, but it's going to be very soon. And a healthy Giants team this year, I think we can make some noise. Call me whatever you want, but a healthy Giants team, if that offensive line is blocking well, a healthy Saquon Barkley, a healthy Daniel Jones, a healthy Tony, Galladay, Shepard, Robinson, even Slayton's crazy ass, I think we can make some noise. Ricky Seals-Jones, Bellinger, Austin Allen, Akins. We got a plethora of different options. We got options at tight ends, folks. You want the fast, athletic tight end? You put in Akins. You want the tall possession tight end? You put in Ricky Seals-Jones. You want the blocker? You put in Bellinger. And Austin Allen, the undrafted free agent who was going to make this team, he's the wild card. He can do a little bit of both. And he's 6'8", red zone threat. Ricky Seals-Jones, red zone threat. Bellinger, 6'6", red zone threat. We got pieces, folks. And with that foundation, with these 4 pillars, it allows you to do so much more. It allows you to run different play schemes. It allows you to run different defensive schemes. It allows you to blitz. It allows you to be like, just go get his ass. It allows you to do that. And when you're able to do all that, it allows you to win games. And that's all we really want, Giants fans, is to win games. And with those guys right there behind me, those guys there, that's the foundation to do it. We have a foundation, folks, believe it or not. Those 4 guys right there, remember those 4 guys. Because when we turn it around, I promise you, those are the 4 guys you're going to be like, yep, they allow us to get it done. Those tackles are blocking their ass off. They're protecting whoever the quarterback is. Azizo Delaria and Kayvon Thibodel, man, they're getting after that quarterback. They got 10 sacks apiece. They're allowing Leonard Williams, he might be able to get 10 sacks again now. They allow you to do so much. So in the end, I'd like to thank you guys who are still tuned in and still watching. The New York Giants, after a decade, finally have a foundation to build around. 2 bookend tackles, 2 bookend edge rushers. And I'm excited as hell about it. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk, go ahead and hit that join button and talk your talk, because you know I'm going to talk my talk no matter what you thought. And cop your merchandise from the Big Pat Sports Shop. Get your Big Pat Sports merch from the Big Pat Sports Shop. I'd like to thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for getting me over 1,500 subscribers this month. I appreciate it. But New York Giants, we got a foundation. We're building that basement. We're building that bottom floor. And that allows us to build the house of the New York Giants back up again and looking good. But until the next episode, peace. This has been a Big Blue Crew production.